Hey Globetrotters, it's Friday. It's time for Chapter 13. Remember, Charlie just got his golden ticket yesterday, and he's just about ready to go into the factory. So Chapter 13 is called The Big Day Arrives. The sun was shining brightly on the morning of the big day, but the ground was still white with snow and the air was very cold. Outside the gates of Wonka's factory, enormous crowds of people had gathered to watch the 5 lucky ticket holders going in. The excitement was tremendous. It was just before 10 o'clock. The crowds were pushing and shouting, and policemen with arms linked were trying to hold them back from the gates. Right beside the gates, in a small group that was carefully shielded from the crowds by the police, stood the 5 famous children, together with the grown-ups who had come with them. The tall, bony figure of Grandpa Joe could be seen standing quietly among them, and beside him, holding tightly to his hand, was little Charlie Bucket himself. All the children, except Charlie, had both their mothers and their fathers with them, and it was a good thing that they had, otherwise the whole party might have gotten out of hand. They were so eager to get going that their parents were having to hold them back by force to prevent them from climbing over the gates. "Be patient," cried the fathers. "Be still, it's not time yet, it's not 10 o'clock. Behind him, Charlie Bucket could hear the shouts of people in the crowd as they pushed and fought to get a glimpse of the famous children. "Hey, there's Violet Beauregard," he heard someone cry out. "That's her all right. I can remember her face from the newspapers." "And you know what?" somebody else shouted back. "She's still chewing that dreadful piece of gum she's had in her mouth for 3 months. Look at her jaws. They're still working on it." "And who's that big boy?" "Oh, that's Augustus Gloop." "Oh, so it is. Enormous, isn't he?" "He's fantastic." "Hey, who's the kid with the picture of the Lone Ranger painted on the back of his windbreaker jacket?" "Oh, that's Mike TV. He's the television fiend." "He must be crazy. Look at all those crazy pistols he's got hanging all over him." "Yeah, the one I want to see is Veruca Salt," shouted another voice in the crowd. "She's the girl whose father bought up 500,000 candy bars and then made the workers in his peanut factory unwrap every one of them till they found a golden ticket. He gives her anything she wants, absolutely anything. She only has to start screaming for it and she gets it. Dreadful, isn't it? Shocking, I'd call it. Hey, which one do you think is her?" "Yeah, that one right over there on the left," said the little girl. "I think it's that girl who's standing in the silver mink coat." "Hey, which one's Charlie Bucket?" "Charlie Bucket? He must be that skinny little shrimp standing beside the old fellow who looks like a skeleton. Right close to us. Just there, you see him? Hey, why hasn't he got a coat on in this cold weather?" "I don't know, don't ask me. Maybe he can't afford to buy one." "Jeepers, he must be freezing." Charlie, standing only a few paces away from the speaker, gave Grandpa Joe's hand a squeeze, and the old man looked down at Charlie and he smiled. Somewhere in the distance, a church clock began striking 10. Very slowly, with a loud creaking of rusty hinges, the great iron gates of the factory began to swing open. And the crowd became suddenly silent, and the children stopped jumping all about. All eyes were fixed on the gates. "Hey, there he is!" shouted somebody. "That's him!" And so it was. We'll see you on Monday for the next chapter. Have a great Friday. Get your work done, and then go do something fun. That's an order.